So I've decided that for me, I think the most interesting topic I came up with was the connection between stress and pet ownership. So I'm gonna start there. And there were sort of some like subcategories of dog ownership and stress. So like financial stress and then emotional stress. Um, so if I'm writing an essay, those could be like two separate paragraphs, for example. But for right now, I'm just gonna start my search with like dogs and stress. I just want to sort of see what's out there in the world. So we're gonna go through three different places to search. We're gonna search in the library in our the library search. We're gonna search in Google. And we're gonna search in Google Scholar. I am going to do all three of these, and then I'm going to ask you to do the same. Once you've chosen the topic that is most interesting to you right now, that you brainstormed, that you sort of collected your data on that's related to that, once you're ready, I encourage you to do these searches on your own, so that by the time you get to class on Tuesday, you're going to have some articles ready to go for you to sort of like assess and think about incorporating. So I'm going to start with the library because I'm a librarian and that's my thing. So to get to the library, I'm on Grand Valley's website right now. To get to the library, there's this button right next to the search box at the upper right. It looks like this little Grecian temple building. I don't know why. It's fine. When you hover over it, it says library. So we'll click on that. You can also just go to gvsu.edu/library if that's how you remember it. That's cool too. Or you can Google GVSU libraries. Whatever works. I don't care. Get to the library. And then there's this big search box here at the top of the page. And this search box will search through all of the databases and ebooks and our physical collections, everything you have access to at the library. So because of that, it's a really cool tool. It's very powerful. But it also means it can be pretty overwhelming if you just get this like insane influx of results. That's can be intense. So I'm going to use it for now. I'm also going to link in this sort of digital worksheet. I'm going to include a video that gets really specific about how you can filter your searches, filter your results, and things like that. I'm just going to do a really basic search for myself though. And I'm going to get in here and I'm going to type stress and pet ownership. And I'm going to hit find it. I capitalized the word and, you might have noticed. And the reason I do that is some databases, when you use the words like and or, words that are connecting your keywords, and or are not my keywords. I don't want articles back that have the word and in it. That's probably every article in English, right? So when you capitalize it, you're telling the database only return articles to me that definitely have the word stress and they definitely have something about pet ownership in there. Don't give me articles that have the word stress and the word and the word pet ownership. And is just how we're connecting the keywords. So this is a very simple search. And if I scroll a little bit, this first article looks like it's on the influence during COVID. I'm not super interested in that, so I'll keep scrolling. Ooh, so exploring the connection between physical and mental health in women and dog ownership. What? That is kind of perfect. That's like surprisingly perfect. So for right now, I'm gonna click on this title. I'm gonna right click and open it in a new tab because I want to come back to that. But I'm gonna keep scrolling. I have something about Istanbul in a language I don't speak. Scroll past that. Maternal pet ownership during pregnancy. That's not where I'm at in life. Keep scrolling. Okay, pet ownership on the burnout mitigation among radiologists and radiographers. I'm not a radiologist or a radiographer, but it's sort of about like psychological stress and the stress of maybe work. And so that could still be relevant even though I'm not a radiologist. Patterns of owner-pet relationship, stress, and oh, it's COVID again. That doesn't look great. This might be interesting. Emotional benefits and differences for pet owners. That's interesting. Here's a book on things you should know about caring for a pet. Should have checked that out a month ago. Well, I got one article that I'm really, really excited about. I could keep looking through articles here and see what looks useful. There are a few in here. Oh, that's stress and co-sleeping with pets. Adolescent stress. Perceived stress among Chinese adults. Again, I'm not a Chinese person, but like that could still be very relevant to me, even though I'm not exactly who they studied. Okay, I found one article that I'm really excited about. So let's click on that, and it says, will not be displayed to guest users. I am on different Wi-Fi, and it doesn't recognize me. So I'm gonna sign in. This might happen to you if you're off campus too. It's just that Duo secure sign-on thing. Oh, okay, I didn't have to click anything. Great. I don't know why things happen sometimes. That's fine. So here's the article. I read the title. It still looks useful to me. So I'm going to scroll down because of what I really want to read. Another title, alternate title. Ooh, it might be in Spanish. Let's scroll back up to see. Ooh, that might be in Spanish based on the title of the journal. So I'm going to keep scrolling because what I want to get to is an abstract. An abstract is just like a summary of the article, which is really where it's good to spend a lot of time. I don't want you to read a whole article and then be like, oof, that was not useful to me. They only mentioned dogs at the very end or whatever. So read the abstract, make sure it's useful. This does look useful to me. So I'm going to scroll back up and get to the full text. This is where we might find out if it's in Spanish or not. So here's the Access PDF button. Sometimes the button that is there will say something different. It'll say like Full Text Finder or something like that. All of the buttons there are okay to click. Nothing will break. So I'm going to say Access PDF. We're going to cross our fingers that it's in English. The abstract's in English. Ooh. It's in English. Yay! Oh, that makes me so happy because this article is kind of perfect. So now that's how you access an article. At this point, I am actually going to come over here. I don't need to read it right now. I actually don't have to read it ever because I don't have to write this essay. But for your purposes, when you're researching, I like to just gather a bunch of resources and then I go back and read them later. I'm in searching mode now. So when I'm in searching mode, I grab two things and that helps me get back to the articles that I really like. The first thing is a citation. So along the upper right side of this page, there's this little menu with different icons. There's an icon with these little like inverted quotation marks, and that says cite when we hover over it. When we click on it, it'll give us a citation in whatever style we choose. So I'm going to use this drop-down arrow. Most of you are probably going to use MLA style, so I'll click on that. And here is your citation. So you can copy this, paste it wherever you're staying organized, maybe a Word doc, maybe a Google doc. Just save it somewhere so that you're able to get back to this article. Because later on, you can just copy this title, paste it in that library search box, and it'll bring you right back to this article. Very useful. Do double check these before you submit them. Sometimes they're just generated by computers, and computers are just doing their best, just like us. And so sometimes things are wrong in here and you need to go through and correct them before you submit this for a paper. So double check before you submit it. The other thing I'm going to grab is called a permalink. It's just short for permanent link. And it's a link that will bring me back to this article every time. I won't even have to search for the title. So I'm going to come over here. Two buttons to the right of Cite is the share button, and it has a little arrow icon. Clicking on that, it'll create a link for us. And when I copy this link to clipboard, you can, again, paste this wherever you're staying organized, a Word doc, a Google doc. But I can show you that when I paste it in a new tab, it's going to bring me back to that article every single time. I hope. It's thinking. It's thinking really hard. Great, there it is. So it pops back up. So grab that citation, grab that permalink when you're searching in the libraries search and you found something that you really like. So that was searching in the library. Now I'm going to search in Google to see what else comes up. Because not everything has to be scholarly. When we're looking for information, usually when we're looking for information, it doesn't need to be scholarly. Google is a great place to do that. It also, Google interprets your words in the way a database doesn't. So it's like, hey, you want pet ownership. I'm going to take my best guess at what that might mean for you. So I'm just, weirdly, I'm going to go to google.com. I spelled google.com wrong. Awesome. What a day. So I'm just going to type into Google just the same thing. We're going to start with the same thing, which is stress and pet ownership. And I'm going to hit enter. I'm at a point where I'm still a little iffy about these AI overviews. They have a couple of times given straight up like incorrect information, so I'm still iffy on that. I'm going to scroll past that and see what else is pulled here. Okay, so here's an article from the Washington Post that Google has pulled this quote from, saying stress from pet ownership is common. House training, enrichment, financial stressors. Ooh, remember we mentioned that earlier? Someone else connected those dots too. Awesome. Finding pet sitters. Oh my gosh, I'm very stressed about that. So cool. This actually looks like a really good article for me. And I can see it's from the Washington Post. The Washington Post is a credible news outlet. Like any news outlet, they have news reporting and they also often have opinion pieces. So I'm going to click on this and see if I can tell if it's news or opinion. Let's see. Move some things around. Oh, nope, I don't want to buy that. Thanks. So let's scroll a little bit. That's a nice picture of a dog. Okay, this is a perspective by someone named, oh no, Emily Hemmendinger. Oof. Okay, that's a name and a half. So, perspective makes me think that this is an article that is an opinion piece more than it is like a straight news factual piece. So this includes probably some of Emily's own take on the topic. So let's scroll a little bit. This looks useful. They link to other things, other articles, which could be really interesting. So let's say sleep problems. I'm just going to click on this link and I'm going to open it in a new tab. And this is from The Conversation, Academic Rigor, Journalistic Flair. I don't super duper know what this is. The author is a guy who is a professor of psychology. That's cool. So I can scroll in here. Oh, so this man actually did some research. Here's where it's published. That's cool. I appreciate that. He explains the research and he tells you about their findings. Okay, awesome. So I can use this article for my essay. I can also use this Washington Post article for my essay. You do not have to just use scholarly things this round. Sometimes in future classes, you may be required to just use scholarly information. It's okay to use stuff like this. Newspaper articles are great sources of information, as long as they're telling you where they're getting their information and how they came to these conclusions. That's cool. You can use it this round. So these are two things that I'm going to use. I'm just going to leave them in open tabs right now. But for you, again, don't forget to grab these links so you can get back to the articles. Keep in mind, if you find newspaper articles, you might come up against a paywall where it's like, you want to keep reading? Pay us $20. Don't pay them $20. Don't do it. Not right now. If you find that happens with a really big newspaper like Washington Post or the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, what you can actually do is you can grab the title, you can copy it, and then actually come back to the library search, paste it in here, and see if the library has it for free. Don't pay for articles. There's so much information out there for free. And there it is. It's the first one. Awesome. Yeah, by Emily Hemmendinger. So, great. This article was in the library, so here I can click on the title. And once we sign in again, that's fine. Take your time. And an error. I don't know what that means. We'll go back. Okay, and here it is now. I don't know what just happened. You know, just click on things until things work, honestly. You're not going to break anything. It's like a literal skill. It's called persistence. Just keep on clicking on stuff. You're fine. So I'm going to say access options, and it says I can view the full text at a database called Gale in Context. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to think while it opens up a new database. The library search pulls from a whole bunch of databases, but to access the full text, sometimes it has to put you in the other database. So that's what's happening here. And here it is, and I can scroll through, and I can read all about Emily's take on pet ownership and stress. So that's how we just searched in the library search. That's how we searched in Google, and we found some news articles. The last thing I want to search in is Google Scholar, and you can just go to scholar.google.com. Google Scholar has some pros and some cons. It is just like Google, it's really good at interpreting what you're looking for. The downside of Google Scholar is that it's not all strictly scholarly information like articles, peer-reviewed articles or scholarly articles. It also includes things like conference proceedings. So if I went to a conference and I presented on a topic, that might wind up in Google Scholar. Sometimes on Google Scholar you'll find slides from presentations. Sometimes you will find like a scan of a article that was in like a pamphlet, and you're like, what is this? And Google Scholar is like, I don't know. So that's a little iffy. You'll also find theses and dissertations, which are really, really good pieces of work, but it's not always what you're allowed to use in a certain assignment. They're okay here, but just sort of an FYI, Google Scholar is a lot more than just peer-reviewed articles, and it does not include as many things as we have access to in the library. So they're different things, which is why I'm showing you how to use both. The other downside to Google Scholar is that it's what's called a black box. What that means is that Google Scholar will not release its algorithm for how it ranks the results. So in most databases, it will return, if I say, dog ownership and stress, it will return articles that have keywords most closely related to dog ownership and stress. Google Scholar won't do that necessarily. They won't tell you how they're ranking things. And it also will rank things differently when you have a profile. So if I was signed in right now to Google Scholar, it would be like, oh, it's Emily. We know she likes to search this kind of stuff, so we'll give her this kind of stuff. So it's not an unbiased algorithm. No algorithms are unbiased because they're created by people, right? And we are fallible. But Google Scholar is just like a little iffy when it's ranking information. Okay, so that's the caveat, but we still use it because it's still a good tool for lots of things. I'm going to go ahead and do the same search, just stress and pet ownership. Okay, pet ownership and quality of life. That might be interesting. There's that one about perceived stress among Chinese adults. I don't know what ACE inhibitor therapy means. I'm going to skip that. The moderating role of pet ownership could be interesting. University students and pet ownership, that's interesting. So a lot of this could be interesting. I am not going to go into any of these right now, but I like to just sort of show y'all just because it's still a useful tool. Sometimes the things that pop up first in Google Scholar are pretty old, so you can come over here and filter to just say, just give me the last 3-ish years of research. You can use that. You can insert a custom range. And when you do want to find an article that you want to get to, you just need to click on the title. And if the full text is available, it will take you to that full text. In this case, the full text is available, so that's cool. I can scroll through and I can just read the whole thing here. Great, love that. If that isn't the case and the clicking the title or any of the links that appear near it, if that doesn't work for you, you can grab the title, you can copy it, and then just like with that Washington Post article, you can come back here, you can paste the title, hit search, and we'll see if it pops up. This was something about a systematic review was the title. Oh, yeah, great. Pet ownership and quality of life, systematic review of the literature. I can click on that title. From here, I can scroll on down, read the abstract, make sure it's useful to me, scroll back up, and when I say access options, it says full text finder. Do you remember I mentioned that one might pop up earlier? I click on that, and it might mean I have to do a couple other clicks, but it's okay. It's worth it to do these clicks to not pay for articles. Okay, so this says it might be in a place called PubMed Central. That's a database we use a lot in health sciences. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, great. And it brought me to the article's title. There's the abstract. And there's this place over here for like full text links. Sometimes it's like a lot of clicks to get to the full text, but it's worth it so you don't have to pay for it. I just chose one of those at random. And here, if I scroll a little bit, is the intro, which means we have access to the full text. There's the methods. Awesome. We have full text right there. So that is how you search in the library search in Google and in Google Scholar, and that's how you get free full text. Always search for things in the library. If the links online are just taking you to a place where they want you to pay, don't pay. Your life is too hard already. Okay, so that's how to search in Google Scholar, in Google, and in the library search. I'm going to ask you to do a search in all three of those spaces so you can see the different things that are appearing. Hopefully find some good things for your assignment. Hopefully things that are going to connect your data to a bigger topic. And then I am going to ask you to put a couple links to some cool things that you found in this worksheet so that everyone is confident you're ready to go by Tuesday. You've got some stuff that you can use and you're ready for class. Thanks for the attention, guys. I appreciate it. It's been a weird day. I hope you are safe and warm and dry somewhere. And I hope if you have questions, you'll reach out to me. Again, my email address is metcalem@gvsu.edu, and I'll put that email in this worksheet as well so you can find me. Okay, good luck.